Welcome to the August 3rd Blue Springs City Council meeting. If you will stand with me, I will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You can be seated. I will now call the meeting to order. Next item on the agenda is confirmation of a quorum.
Councilmember Kaler.
I'm present.
Tholen.
Present.
Rummel.
Present.
Erickson.
Present.
Markworth.
Present.
Rowan.
Present.
Mayor Levisay.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Were you here?
We have a quorum. Next item is the consent agenda. I have a request from Councilmember Kaler to pull item D. Other than that, can I accept the motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Kaler.
Aye.
Tholen.
Aye.
Rummel.
Aye.
Erickson.
Aye.
Markworth.
Aye.
Rowan.
Aye.
Mayor Levisay.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Councilmember Kaler, item D.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm just curious, have any decision been made on the route of the parade? I've been getting inquiries in reference to that, and I tell them we have no clue. So I would like to, has there been any updates on that?
Yes, Director of Strategic Initiatives, George Schmitz, can provide an update on the parade route for you.
Good evening. So what we have here displayed is the Main Street Improvements Project. This is a 5-phase project. We are currently in phase 1, which is from 15th to 12th Street, and phase 2 is set to begin within the next 2 weeks. So this will be the jump across 12th Street, and they will begin on the water line. They will have phase 1 completed by the time the Fall Fun Fest rolls into town. So we will be in phase 2, which is between 12th and 11th Street. So we have been working with the chamber over the last couple of months to develop an alternative parade map that is different from years prior, but it avoids the construction. So before you is the proposed map for the parade. There is a Zone 1 and Zone 2 drop-off, which is on Vesper Street. The parade will travel east on Vesper when it gets to 15th, and then it will go north, and then east again on Artie Mize Road, where it will end at St. John's, where it has previously ended.
Does that answer your question, Councilmember Kaler?
Slide it by one more time. So you're going north, south on from Vesper on 22nd? Or is that just a lineup area and then we're just going out Vesper? Where do you go connect there from where the lineup is? From the purple to the orange there.
I'm unsure of those details. I just know it's been designated as a drop-off zone. I think in years past it was previously used as the drop-off zone. So I believe the drop-off zones have not changed.
Okay, so basically what we're seeing here is drop-off and pickup zones.
Yep.
We're not actually seeing the actual parade deal.
The
So,
blue
okay.
line.
The
Jerry,
blue line is the parade route.
The blue
Okay.
line's the parade route. So instead of going south to Main and then across Main and up 10th, it's going north on 15th and then east on Artie Mize.
Okay, all right.
Any other questions since we're on discussion on item D about the Fall Fun Fest? I do see President Laura Vermillion in the audience there from the chamber, so we have been working with them for several months now on the changes for this. So, okay, then if there are no other questions, I'll accept the motion to approve item D.
Motion.
Do I
Second.
have a second? All right, any discussion on item D?
I just want to thank first our emergency management team that's been working with the chamber pretty hard on this to make sure that this is a successful event, and then also to the chamber for working with us with the construction going on.
Any other discussion? If not, then all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item, item 4, was withdrawn by the applicant, so we do not have to take any action on that. So we'll move on to item 5, which is a public hearing on the Ford Warehouse Development Concept Plan. The city clerk will have some items to read for the record.
Mayor, the city has one exhibit to enter into the record. City Council Information Form dated July 28th, 2026 with the following attachments. Staff report with attachments, application with attachments, affidavit of publication, the Examiner on June 27th, 2026, 185-foot notification map, names, addresses of property owners within 185 feet of the site, copy of letter sent to said property owners, and bill approving the plan development concept plan. This is all we have to enter for the record.
Staff, I do have to swear you in, so if you will raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony about to give in this case to be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Give us your name and address for the record.
Logan Day, 903 West Main Street, Blue Springs, Missouri, 64015. Good evening, Mayor and council members. Before you tonight is a request for approval of a plan development concept plan for a building addition to an existing Blue Springs Ford's Parts Warehouse located at 3110 Southwest eastbound US 40 Highway. The applicant is proposing to construct a building addition on the south side of the existing facility to expand the facility's storage capacity. The project also includes the installation of a new fire service line that will provide fire sprinkler protection on both the existing warehouse and proposed addition. As part of the plan development concept plan, the applicant is requesting several modifications to accommodate the expansion. These includes an alternative frontage buffer that utilizes the existing topography and landscaping, a reduction in the required parking from 39 spaces to 15, with the additional 9 spaces being deferred until a future demand warrants their construction. The use of improved crushed stone aggregate with a composite geograde system in lieu of traditional pavement, and continued use of an existing septic system as no additional wastewater demand is anticipated, and a reduction in the front required setback from 40 feet to 18 feet due to the existing location of the existing warehouse. The proposal also eliminates one of the site's 3 existing driveways, reducing the number of access points from 3 to 2. The removed driveway will be restored as a landscape green space, and access modifications have been reviewed and approved by both MoDOT and city engineering. Because the building addition is occupied by only 3 employees, the proposed addition is intended solely for storage, and staff does not anticipate a significant traffic impact. Staff finds the requested modifications appropriately recognizes the existing conditions while allowing for a reasonable expansion of the facility. The proposal is consistent with the comprehensive plan and can be adequately served by the public infrastructure and remains compatible with surrounding properties. Based on the findings contained within the staff report, staff recommends approval of the plan development concept, subject to conditions listed at the end of the staff report. And I'm here to answer any questions, and applicant here is answering any as well.
Any questions for staff from the council? Councilman Erickson.
Could you restate what you said about the aggregate, and you said something about oil or whatever? What was that term?
So it'd be a crushed stone aggregate. So essentially it'd be like a...
You said something about petroleum over the top or something, some other word over it?
It would be a composite geograde system. So there's like a...
So it's rock, there's no like...
I could let the applicant
no
speak to
oil
it
or
more.
any of that kind of stuff. And then the other question I have, and I understand that there are very few people that will be in this facility.
Correct.
And it's currently on septic. What would trigger the requirement in the future, since we don't have any conditions in here, for that septic to be turned into hooking to the sanitary sewer system of Blue Springs?
So we've conditioned that in the event that they expand their wastewater production, so in the event they expanded and added more bathrooms or anything that required more, they would be required to hook into.
And then we would know that at the moment that happens, so
Correct.
it's something that we won't be dealing with after the fact.
Correct, because it
Okay.
would be a proposed building
Okay.
addition.
That's great, thank you.
Other questions for staff from the council?
Can I make a comment?
Yeah, Councilmember Gaylor.
I'm glad to see that the confusion of the different drives being reduced and only one going out. That will help that whole area big time.
Okay, with no other questions, is the applicant present? Want to make a presentation or answer any questions?
That's the one that goes away.
If you,
Council members.
I need to swear you in first, hold on. If you'll raise your right hand, do you swear the testimony you're about to give in this case to be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And if you'll give us your name and address for the record.
Thank you. My name is Powell Menace. I'm with Davidson Architecture. We're the architect and civil engineer for the project. On behalf of Balderston Group, we're very excited to build this project for them. They need expansion for their building. And as Planner Day said, there's no additional staff. It's all warehouse. So there's no additional staff that's needed. So no additional bathrooms. There are existing bathrooms, and they're adequate for the size of the facility. As you can see by the map, it's quite a lot of would look like pavement. So the building sets very far back on this long site. So what we're proposing and planning staff and engineering is accepting and approving is a modified pavement. There's a geogrid that will be laid down, which really helps to stabilize those roads and make them with rock on top. So it's not asphalt, it's not concreted. It will be an aggregate road, but it's in keeping with the fire department standards for trucks, and of course the trucks that they will have that come in and out of the site. They don't have a lot of semis. We have a traffic report that was submitted to the planning department. There's not a lot of trucks. There's not a lot of traffic. There's zero public. So it's mainly just trucks from the Blue Springs Ford facility coming over and picking up parts, fenders, things like that, and take them back to the dealership. So again, we're just very excited about it. If you have any more questions, I'm glad to answer any questions you have. Thank you.
Any questions for the applicant from the council? All right, thank you for your time. If there's no other questions, and I'll go to the audience next. Does anyone in the audience like to speak in support of? Anyone speak in opposition to? Any other comments from the council before I close the public hearing? I will close the public hearing. Next is item 6, introduction and reading of bill 5420, approving the plan development concept plan for Ford Warehouse.
I'll introduce it, Your Honor.
First reading of Bill 5420, an ordinance approving the plan development concept plan for Ford Warehouse at 3110 Southwest Eastbound US 40 Highway, Blue Springs, Jackson County, Missouri.
Your Honor, I move to approve the first reading and proceed to the second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, no? Motion carries. Second reading.
Second reading Bill 5420, an ordinance approving the plan development concept plan for Ford Warehouse at 3110 Southwest Eastbound US 40 Highway, Blue Springs, Jackson County, Missouri.
Your Honor, I move to approve on this second reading and assign the appropriate ordinance number.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Tholen.
Aye.
Brummel.
Aye.
Erickson.
Aye.
Markworth.
Aye.
Rowan.
Aye.
Kaler.
Aye.
Mayor Levisay.
Aye.
Motion carries and given ordinance number 5515.
Next, we have a public hearing for Point of Hope rezoning and conditional use permit. City Clerk has some items to read for the record.
Mayor, the city has one exhibit to enter into the record, City Council Information Form dated July 28th, 2026 with the following attachments. Staff report with attachments, application with attachments, affidavit of publication of the Examiner on July 11th, 2026, 185-foot notification map, names, addresses of property owners within 185 feet of the site, copy of letter sent to said property owners, bill approving rezoning, and bill approving conditional use permit. This is all we have to enter for the record.
All right, staff, let me swear you in again. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give in this case to be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Give us your name and address for the record.
Logan Day, 903 West Main Street, Blue Springs, Missouri, 64015. Good evening, Mayor and council members. Before you tonight is a request to rezone a portion of the property located at 1211 Northwest 7th Highway from general business to regional commercial, along with a conditional use permit to allow the outdoor storage of recreational vehicles, boats, and trailers. The property previously was developed and operated as a retail lumber yard and building supply business, initially as Payless Cashways and later as 84 Lumber, beginning around 2002. City records identified 84 Lumber operating at the property as late as 2010. In 2011, Point of Hope Lutheran Church acquired the property and later that year received approval to convert the principal building into approximately 22,000 square feet of church space and 12,000 square feet of commercial space. The property was then platted as Point Center, consisting of Lot 1 and Tracts A and B. The approved plan did include the rear portion of the property. However, the primary focus of the approval was on the principal building. The applicant is now requesting to rezone the rear portion of the property and obtain a conditional use permit to bring the outdoor storage use into compliance with current zoning regulations. The applicant is requesting to rezone Tract 3, located at the rear portion of the property, from GB to RC, and the applicant is also requesting a conditional use permit to allow the continued outdoor storage of recreational vehicles, boats, and trailers. The property has been utilized as a secure outdoor storage area, and this request is intended to bring that existing use into conformance with the city's current zoning regulations, and no expansions of the storage area or additional site improvements are proposed as part of this request. Staff also finds that this request will not negatively impact surrounding properties, as it recognizes an existing use rather than introducing a new one. With a conditional use permit limited to outdoor storage of the recreational vehicles, boats, and trailers, and as part of the condition for approval, additional landscaping and a 6-foot privacy fence to better screen the property from the right-of-ways of Northwest Jefferson Street and North Ridge Drive. Vehicle sales, repair, maintenance, or similar commercial activities are not included as part of this request as well. Based on the findings contained within the staff report, staff recommends approval of the rezoning request and conditional use permit, subject to the conditions listed at the end of the staff report. And I am happy to answer any questions, and the applicant is here to answer any as well.
Questions for staff from the council? Councilmember Erickson.
So when we refer to tracks 1, 2, and 3, is that correct? Is that reflected on the county records as well?
Correct.
Okay, so, and then the one you said in 2011, there was approval for commercial of tracks 1 and 2?
It was the approval to convert that primary building, so where the church is currently located, to the church space.
Was there anything done for track 3?
No.
And so
it was primarily focused on the,
it was the 84 lumber yard in 2011, and it's for lack of a better word, it's the same facility today as it was then. Is that correct? So no more approvals, denials, or anything on that tract have been done since 2000, whenever they did pay, the church did not do anything to that?
Correct.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Other questions for staff from the council? Councilmember Kaler.
Help us out here. Track 1 and 2 and 3. I'm assuming that track 1 is where the main auditorium and the store is, and then what's 2 and 3?
So
is 2
this
the
is
one building and 3 the other building.
So this is track B, and then so they've split it into lot 1, tract A, and track B. So this is track B. This primary plat or property is lot 1, and then this is tract A.
Okay, Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other questions for staff from the council? Okay, is the applicant present? Want to come give a presentation, answer questions? Anybody? Yeah, come on up. I do have to swear you in as well. If you'll raise your right hand, you swear the testimony you're about to give in this case to be the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
If you will give us your name and address for the record, and then continue with your comments.
I'm Chuck Evans, 2207 Southwest Hook Farm Drive in Lee Summit. I'm the president of Point of Hope, actually newly elected in February. So as Logan said, I think most of you are aware that it was 84 lumber when we bought and moved in back in 2012. The retail front now is Habitat for Humanity's restore. We've been storing RVs and trailers in the back for some time. It helps to fund our ministries. The area on the outer road, you can definitely see in there. The area on North Shore Drive has a lot of mature trees and stuff, so it's in pretty good order there. You can't really see any of it from 7 Highway. we're a small church. We're really dependent on this outside revenue. You know, but we are willing, you know, to be good neighbors and do what we need to do in order to keep this going and make it a win-win for the city, the church, and the property owners. So, any questions?
Thank you. Question for the applicant from the council.
I have,
Councilman Erickson.
could you, I know you can't make it exact, but could you tell me for the record, because I think I know the answers, how many opportunities you've had to communicate with the city about the non-compliance of this property?
You know, I can only talk about this year. I know we've had some non-compliance letters sent, and we've been trying to work with the planning team. But if you know, I think things have happened prior to my time in office as well.
So the historical perspective that you have comes in with the last 12 months, so to speak?
Yes.
Well, I can assure you that I've been on the city council since 2019, and this non-compliance has been existent for that period of time. I discussed with our former city administrator, Eric Johnson, and former council member, Dale Carter, about this when they were on the council as well. I did not speak to Jeff Quabell, but this non-compliance, if you will, which I don't know another way to say it, has been in existence at least since 2017. I know for sure that in 2019 and every year, every meeting, not every meeting, but a majority of the meetings that I've been in, I've asked the question, why, and why? I guess that's just for the public record, but I still wonder why. I know it's for funding, but it seems like that when you guys are aware of this, that it wouldn't require us to push you down, that you would just come forward. I'll stop there.
Okay.
I just want to make everybody aware of that, and that historical perspective changes my attitude a little bit, but the direction forward, I'm trying to keep that out of it.
Yeah, as somebody who's attended Point of Hope since it was on 40 Highway, I'm not unaware that those things have been. I certainly didn't know how far back you know, being out of compliance was, but we're trying to make things right. So.
Oh, I understand that. I understand that.
Do you have other questions, Councilmember? Okay.
I do not.
Councilmember Kaler.
I don't know, this could go back to our staff, but the purpose of the CUP, what are we trying to gain here with the CUP, conditional use permit?
That's what's necessary for the RV and trailer storage. So as I understand,
we
you
want to
change the
change the
regional
ordinance.
Pardon me?
We're wanting to change the ordinance, but we want the CUP also in order to be able to continue parking what's already been parked there inappropriately and illegal for since 17 that we know of. But so that's the reason for it. What's a conditional, Logan? What was some of the conditions again?
So they would be required to screen the storage from the public right of way. So that would include the North Ridge here and Northwest. So anything you could see from the public right of way along those streets here would have to be screened with either the combination of additional landscaping and a 6-foot privacy fence.
And the entrance on the south side would have to go to a solid base?
Correct.
Like concrete, asphalt, etc. And then would any sidewalk on the west side of the property there where your arrow is?
So there's no sidewalk along North Ridge. However, there is sidewalk along the other side of the street. And there also is, the aerial is also outdated, so there is also sidewalk on Northwest Jefferson now.
On the west side of the street?
So on Northwest Jefferson along
Correct,
here?
that the city put in?
Yeah.
That if they'd have been in compliance, they would have had to put the sidewalk in before, but that's another story. But basically there is a sidewalk on the west side of the street of, what is that, North Ridge or?
Yep.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Other questions for the applicant from the council?
I I,
Councilmember Thorne.
maybe not for applicant, but is there a reason why we're not just doing the CUP? Why we're doing a rezoning of the whole?
So it
Area?
would be for the land use, so the storage, just to bring the whole tract into conformance, the rezoning and the conditional use, so rezoning it to that regional commercial combined with the conditional use, just brings the whole site into conformance, and it more matches the area opposed to zoning it to a light industrial.
So say Point of Hope leaves and we've zoned this for this situation, so it pretty much allows anyone to come in at that commercial without coming with us.
Correct.
Will the CUP go away if they leave? So is it just designed for them specifically? Or does it follow whoever is coming into that area?
I believe it's based on the applicant, so.
Applicant only?
Hold on a second. Let's get done with the applicant first. Does anybody have any questions for the applicant? Okay, you're good. You can sit down. Thank you for your time. Okay, now we're still on the public hearing. We have additional questions or comments from the council. Who else has got a question, either for staff or a comment to make?
I would,
Yeah, Councilman
wouldn't mind- I wouldn't mind following up since you brought up some points. I want to reiterate the fact for everybody that the sidewalk on the south side that is in existence was placed there with the city's sidewalk infill program 2 or 3 years ago. And speculating, if this were a new project and that sidewalk weren't there, I would suspect we would be requiring that. And to Councilmember Tholen's question, if this were not rezoned, would the conditional use permit still be something that we could consider, or can we not consider it? So it has to be regional commercial in order for the conditional use permit to stay. And then I would like somebody to say for sure, instead of I believe so, and no offense to that, that this conditional use permit, if approved, stays with the applicant only, not with First United Methodist Church or Jerry Kaler's yacht shop or something like that. I want to know that for sure.
It's tied with so the way the ordinance is written, it's tied with the development. So if said development was to go away, then the CUP would just go away.
Would that be automatic or would that require court time?
So let me clarify a couple things, because my understanding is a little bit different. If somebody else came in and wanted to use this property for this use, the CUP stays with the property, is my understanding. So if it's not just Point of Hope, if Bob's Storage came in and wanted to use this for RV storage, they would still be able to use it for RV storage. Is that correct?
Correct.
So I don't think the CUP goes away if Point of Hope goes away. That use stays there with the property as long as somebody wants to reuse it for that use.
Your Honor, that makes logical sense
Yeah.
to me. However, in the past, and our counselor is going to look this up, but I have recollection that with other CUPs, they did not stay with the property. They stayed with the operator, so to speak. And that's a big difference, and I really want to know that answer.
Yeah. I don't think they stay with the property as long as a new use, the next use is a different use, then the CUP goes away. And somebody else can't come back in and do storage there without a new CUP. But if the next person is another use that's like that, I think the CUP stays.
The operative word is the verb think.
Yeah, well.
Instead of I know that. I mean,
Staff is giving you
that's
some
what I wanna
confirmation,
know.
but I am not the expert. That's just my
Correct.
understanding from experience, but.
Yeah, Mayor, you're correct. So the conditional use permit is tied to the development and the conditions that grant that right to operate there. And so if it changes ownership and somebody else comes in and wants to operate under that same development, then they would be allowed to do that by right. But if they wanted to operate differently and have a different business, then they would have to come back and amend that CUP or change the zoning to allow what the new development would be.
The other thing worth clarifying is, I don't think some councilmen understood, a CUP for RV storage is not allowed in general business zoning, which is why we're rezoning to regional commercial and adding the CUP, because
Correct.
you can't do a conditional use permit in general business for RV storage.
Correct.
And that's all predicated on the use table and what's allowed by right and what's conditionally permitted. And so the outdoor storage is only allowed in the regional commercial or in light industrial.
Okay.
As a conditional use.
I still see some confusion, but we're still additional questions or comments. The public hearing's still open.
I think it's processing.
Yeah, that's fine. I just want to make sure everybody's clear. Councilmember Kaler, what's your question?
Your Honor, like I said, it seems logical to me, your position is logical. But in the recent past, we've had some conditional use permits, and I know we discussed that if they changed, then they would go away. And I don't believe it was the tattoo facilities.
It was.
Is it? You're
It
thinking
was.
it might
Or
have been
maybe
the
a
tattoo
tobacconist
facility?
was one recently too.
Rampage.
Yeah.
And so if they change ownerships or whatever, then the conditional use, so in that case, I think maybe we didn't understand that when we did those as well.
Yeah. All right, other questions or comments from the council before I close the public hearing?
So
Councilmember Kaler.
just getting this ironed out here. The CUPs for a storage area. In this storage area is for RVs, et cetera, but it is not anywhere in there for having a automotive shop or a paint shop or any of that type of deal. Is that correct?
Correct.
And I have another question.
Councilmember Erickson.
What about rental moving vehicles? Since I shouldn't name the names, but a transcontinental moving facility wants to park their vehicles there, or there's rental vehicles that are being there. And then I will have one more question, as why do we pick 6-foot-high fence instead of 8-foot-high?
So the 6 foot tall is what our code requires. So though 8 foot is allowed within the non-residential zoning, 6 foot is what our code requires. So that was the baseline for our requirement.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It would be allowed. Yeah.
The outdoor vehicle storage would be permitted under the conditional use permit in the regional commercial. So that would include RVs, trucks, trailers, everything that's existing today on site.
So Galen's Moving Service could literally park in there if the church would rent to me?
Correct.
Okay.
And
But it would have a privacy fence.
anything else from the council before I close the public hearing? Wait, I don't want to close the public hearing. I got to get the residents right. All right. Any other before I go to the audience? Okay. I'm going to start with in support of. I do have a speaker appearance form in support of. So we're going to start with you, Melinda Bowman. If you will raise your right hand to be sworn in. Do you swear the testimony about to give in this case be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, please give us your name and address for the record, and then you'll have 3 minutes to
Sure.
give us your comments.
Melinda Bowman.
I
I represent BR Carpet.
Can you try to get on that microphone a little bit better?
Melinda Bowman. I'll stand on my tiptoes.
Well, you're
I'm
doing great.
Melinda Bowman. I'm representing BR Carpet, and our address is 1901 Northwest Jefferson Street, Blue Springs, Missouri, 64015. So we currently rent space at the Point of Hope lot. Our business is just down the street on Jefferson. And over the years, we've been in our current location since 2008, and before then we were next door and built the building and moved there. So we've been in business here for 21 years now in Blue Springs, and over the years, we've had quite a few vehicles vandalized, stolen. We've had multiple trailers stolen from our lot. So in looking for some place to park our trailer, the Point of Hope lot was a great option for us. It's just been someplace that we feel like our vehicle is safe and we don't have to worry about replacing that again, which we've done probably 4 or 5 times. So it's just has been a great advantage for our business. And I know that there are lots of other residents, whether it's they have an HOA that won't allow them to have their camper there, or they don't have a spot, or they just feel it's more secure there. So we're in favor of it, and would just ask that the council allow that to take place and stay.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the audience like to speak in support of? Yep, come on up. If you will raise your right hand, you swear the testimony you're about to give in this case be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
If you will give us your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
My name's Rick Billers. I live at 738 Southeast Moreland School Road in Blue Springs. I did the conversion. I actually, as a kid, built Payless Cashways. And then when the church bought this property, I was the contractor that did the interior build out on it. A lot of the things that have happened along the time of this frame that Mr. Erickson talks about has not been intentional. The pastor is not a contractor, he's not a developer, and neither is anybody in their church. But when I was approached to try to help them through this, I got a hold of Jerry and Ken Edmondson and some of these people to see what the issues were and processes we needed to go through. Talked to your last planning commission director, and it just kind of got stalemated. And then we had several other meetings with Jerry and Ken Edmondson, and we started pursuing it. I told the church, you know, one thing that we need to do, if your members don't know anything, don't put them in the meeting. I don't want anybody here, I'll do it myself. It'll save the city time, it'll save me time. I'm a retired contractor, I don't get paid for this, I'm just friends with the church. And until your new planning commission or planning director came in, really didn't think there was an interest with the city. But that office has pushed it ahead, which I'm greatly appreciative of. The church has always tried to be good neighbors. We wouldn't have cell service out here if it wasn't for the church, because they leased the ground to the tower. It's a kind of a secondary piece of property anyway that nobody even notices it when you drive down Jefferson Street. The elevation of it is so far high above the interstate, it's not even noticeable. The church is not planning on selling it. They want to develop it to improve that building back there of something that'll make sense, that generates income for the church. The church has a lender. I told them this is their first step to get this conditional use permit, to get things cleaned up so we can move ahead. But one thing I will say is, living in Blue Springs, it's an irritant to me when you drive through the neighborhood and you see people with a fifth wheel camper parked up next to their house and it hangs over the city sidewalk. People have to walk in the street to get around them. Nobody says anything about the boats or the campers. And I think that puts a black eye on this community, because a lot of the communities do not permit that.
Mr. Veal, is that your time? I appreciate it. Thank you for your comments.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else in the audience like to speak in support of? Anyone speak in opposition to? Okay, now, are there any final comments? Oh, come on up. Gotta swear you in. If you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give the case be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Give us your name and address. For
Chris
the record.
Henning, 1308 Northwest Hawk Creek Drive. I think this project sets a dangerous precedent for the city to give them a free pass when we require so many other applicants to go to great lengths, including the recent Windwater project. And I have strong feelings about that. And I think you should carefully consider it. And if you consider approving it, I would wish that you would consider a 1 or 2 year time frame, so that then they would be required to be brought up to compliance. I think it's only fair to every other applicant that comes before you that they have a time frame or they be brought up now. And I wish you would carefully consider my my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Henning. Anyone else to speak in opposition to? Okay, any other comments from the council now before I close the public hearing? Councilman Rivas.
I do have a comment. I do want to mention for the record and for everyone that a few years ago, I think I was walking and I noticed the north side of the property that we haven't talked about by the detention pond, if you will. I actually called the city and I said, hey, there's no way, there's no fence, there's no way to deter someone walking into that. And a couple months later, that was fixed. I do think that was a good thing. I also would say I do drive by that all the time, and Point of Hope to me is like it's nothing more than a big irritant of the motorhomes parked in the street. I would rather have them on your property, of course, but I do see it all the time, and that's one reason why it's always on my mind, so to speak. So anyway, that's it.
Any other comments from the council? Okay, Councilmember Brummel.
What is the timeline of getting it up, if we approve it tonight, to the standards that are recommended here? Do we have a timeline if they don't get it up to standards, or what the timeline is?
I think he's asking staff, what is our,
what is ours, and then
Yeah.
also the church, what is theirs?
When would we require compliance by? And I guess the church, if you have a timeline that you're willing to communicate, you're welcome to come up and do that too, but we'll let staff work on that for a second.
Your Honor.
Yeah, Councilmember Kaley.
I'd just like to mention again why the hesitance of this is because it's been so many years getting to a certain point. For whatever reason, whatever people were in place or not in place, it's taken a long time. And I think that's why certain people would like to know what kind of time frame, because we don't want to see something get passed and nothing be done. And that's where the council, or some of us council, are going with.
Your Honor, while they're thinking.
Hold on, I think the city attorney has something to add.
Okay.
Give me a second here.
So in the code, what it does say is that the conditional use permit would lapse if there's no building permit pulled within a year. So there's a little bit of a time frame there.
But I don't think any building permits will be pulled on this. There'll be a fence permit, right? And that's the only permit that'd be pulled?
Which that would be a building permit. So it kind of falls under that guise, so.
Also, just to confirm, I did look at the way the ordinance is drafted, and to confirm, it is the way that the mayor had stated with regards to if the conditional use is approved, it stays with the land. So if a separate user came in and wanted to operate the same, under the same CUP, they could.
That's only if it's the next user, is that right? If they're-
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Correct.
But Your Honor, wouldn't it have to have a permit for the south entrance to be paved?
It would be, that would be like a discussion we would have with the development as they came forward. So that would be something that we would discuss when a development came forward in that event.
Okay.
Yeah, and technically, since this conditional use permit is not dealing with the structure, they would have up to 2 years to have compliance. It's 1 year if they're doing a building construction, and then it identifies a 2-year time period for any other element that is submitted within that plan. And then they could request an extension if they needed to.
Your Honor.
Okay, Councilmember.
And here again, this is my recollection, but on North 7 Highway, south of Casey's in Pink Hill, there was I think it was a daycare facility or something of that nature. They put the parking lot in, and they were required to put in the ADA standard sidewalk within 1 year. And they did not get that done, so we graciously allowed a continuation of that. But So that, I think that's one reason why I always thought it was a year. It seems like there have been other things that were 1 year. The 2-year thing is, you know, I don't know where we get that, but I guess you said where it comes from.
Yeah, it says any other element of the plan not submitted for permits within 2 years shall expire unless the application is different than the schedule.
Oh, other than building permit required, so, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
So
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I didn't mean to step on you. So if they're not anything being done within 2 years, this body has a way of saying, okay, that's it, full of blood. Just expired. We're done with that. Is that correct?
No.
It would be back in non-compliance.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I think that's, if the fence is done and anything that requires a permit's done within a year, then it would be 1 more year, that would not make it 3 years, right? Wouldn't be additive?
They would have 2 years. So the fence permit and all that would
Which
have
one?
to be done within those 2 years.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought we just said anything that
fence
required
one's
building
done
permit
in
would be
A
1 year.
year. Okay.
And then
Everything else. Okay.
Is that correct? 1
Yeah,
year?
yeah.
And then 1 year after that, it would not be 2 years after that, correct?
they run concurrently, the time.
Concurrently, okay.
I thought I saw some other, yeah, Councilmember Brummel.
Does the applicant have a timeline on this?
We don't right now, but I didn't know what part of the
Could you come to the podium, please?
So we don't currently have a timeline. However, you know, we felt like getting the approval was kind of the next step, and that we would be kind of guided to what the timeline would be. So
So do we see there is going to be an issue to get this acquired within the 2 years?
no.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, I'm ready to close the public hearing. Okay, I will close the public hearing. Next item is item 8, Introduction to Arena Bill 5421, approving the Point of Hope rezoning.
I'll introduce it, Your Honor.
First reading of Bill 5421, an ordinance approving a rezoning for Point of Hope Church generally located at 1211 Northwest 7 Highway, Blue Springs, Jackson County, Missouri, from GB General Business to RC Regional Commercial.
Your Honor, I move to approve the first reading and proceed with the second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Okay, I do have a question for staff. I know we talked about general, CUP is not, CUP for RV storage does not exist within general business. Is that something that we would be allowed to add to the general business zoning, or are there other things that would prevent that from happening?
So the uses are based off of our use table. So in that use table, we classify different uses and what's permitted by right and what's conditionally allowed. And then anything out of that would just be non-allowed. So the reason we've had to do it this way is because it just wouldn't be allowed within general business. So there wouldn't be any avenue for them to go through. So the rezoning, getting it to where they would then have to do that conditional use combined, just brings them into compliance.
So if the city council wanted to add RV storage to a conditional use within general business, we could do that. It would just take a code change.
Correct.
But there's nothing that prevents that code change. There's no state law or anything that you're aware of that prevents
Not
the
that I'm aware
use of RV storage in the general business zoning with the CUP.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be a text amendment and update to the use table.
Okay. I think I heard it discussed a little bit. I have a little bit of concern of rezoning the property for making regional commercial, so then there are some things by right that may be allowed on this property that I may not want. We went through that with Windwater recently, but I don't know that I have a problem with this use on this property, so. Yeah, Councilmember Tholen, go ahead.
I'm there as well. With what happened with like you said, Windwater, I'm hesitant to blanket this as rezoning this. I honestly would probably motion to bring this onto another council meeting, so we can possibly look at a resolution to that. I'm for the CUP altogether. I don't want to get the city into a position where we're having to approve something or something's not coming to us for approval just based on this rezoning.
Your Honor.
Yeah, Councilmember Erickson.
I had a couple motions pre-written, basically referring to the CUP, but Councilmember Tholen said something about perchance giving us a little more time. So maybe I would move to continue this item to the next city council meeting, which I believe would be August the 17th. Obviously to provide time for more discussion, and of course we could think amongst ourselves in our own brains about the CUP, but if you're comfortable with that, and I think you said that, I would move to do that.
Okay, I hear a motion from Councilmember Erickson to continue this item to the August 17th city council meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Now we're gonna have discussion. Is there any discussion on the motion to move this item to August 17th council? Councilmember Kaler.
In that motion, could it also inquire about having staff present us that option that you were talking about, Mayor, about general business with the CUP?
Is that something would be appropriate for the motion, or I'm looking at you, city attorney? would that be appropriate to actually put that language in there, or?
Or does it need to be another motion?
I could certainly change the motion if we could get the second and just say that for the purpose of discussing the legalities and what the options are in other zonings.
Well, I think we're dealing with two issues here. So do we need to push this?
Yeah,
one out
we haven't
further?
got to the CUP yet, but we're.
Well, I'm saying because of the zoning situation, we would have to add that to our category, right? So do we need to push this out 2 meetings so then the next meeting, or in the meantime, we were able to vote on
I'm
the
okay
rezoning?
with going to the 2 meetings too, if it's the same motion, if the second would go with that.
I think a code change would take longer than just 1 meeting.
Okay.
But we would have to have discussion about whether that's what anybody wants. So, can staff present us some information on that by the next council meeting? What do you think that would be? We at least get that? Okay, is everybody comfortable with that, or?
Would that mean then that we would be discussing and voting on it, or just discussing and determining when we could vote on it?
The way the current motion reads is that this item would just be moved to that meeting, which means we could discuss and vote on it at that meeting. If you're wanting to do
It's fine with
something
me
else.
if staff's happy with it, if it works.
So if the council wanted to update the text, like our use table, and that would have to be posted. So
Okay.
that couldn't happen at the next meeting, to my knowledge.
Could I ask Councilman Rowan what he was sign languaging about over there to fill us in?
I just think they're two different things. I think we should deal with this thing right now and then deal with the changing the code at a separate.
But
different
I
meeting.
couldn't understand your sign language over there.
Well,
what you were trying
I didn't
do.
want to interrupt anyone. Sorry, I apologize.
I don't have.
I was thinking out loud.
I don't have a problem making it 2 separate things and going that route. I think this would be logical to continue it out and have that little extra information what could be done. I think if it would be a whole lot more comfortable with the council if we had a little more information on that. And as long as this is taken anyway, I don't know that the applicant would disagree with us. So, I'd be in for that.
So am I hearing some consensus that needs to be pushed out further than August 17th? Is that what I think so. To allow for some more time?
Could we bring it up and discuss it at the next council meeting without action?
It's your motion, so you can always make another motion at the August 17th meeting. But right now, your motion is to move to August 17th. So if you want to keep it at that, we can do that.
I'm not sure what it is.
The motion would be to this entire item, the rezoning would move to August 17th. So we would either have to take action, either approve or deny the rezoning, or we would have to continue it again.
Well, it doesn't sound like we have enough time to do it the right way. So then let's go to the September, pardon me, I don't know what the date would be.
September 8th.
September 8th, to the September 8th in my original motion instead of August.
So I have a motion in a second. Do I need either withdrawal or
If they
an
would be
amendment?
willing to amend to September 8th.
Okay, Councilmember Tholen, I'm gonna see that as a friendly amendment unless you have objection.
No, that's fine.
Okay. So we're gonna say the motion is to continue this item to the September 8th city council meeting. I have a motion and a second. We're still on discussion.
Whose
Any-
motion is it?
Yours still.
Mine, okay, 'cause you asked her. You would ask her
Because she seconded, I
Okay,
was gonna,
got you,
it's a
I got you.
friendly amendment unless she objected, so.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so, oh, I'm sorry. Councilmember Rowan, I heard you were the second on that. Councilmember Rowan, do you have a problem with,
I didn't have a problem with that at all. no.
okay.
Thank you,
So we're
sir.
still on discussion. Any further discussion on the motion to continue this item to the September 8th city council meeting? Okay, does this need to be, okay, the voice, okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, no? Motion carries. We're now on item 9. This is introduction to Arena Bill 5422, approving the conditional use permit. Can we take action on this, having continued the rezoning, or do we need to continue it as well?
To my knowledge, you would have to continue
Okay,
it.
so do I even need council to do anything, or is it just automatically continue? It's irrelevant at this moment, is why I'm asking.
It is, but I think we need a motion
Okay.
to continue to the same date.
So, council has advised, we need a motion to continue this item. Is anybody willing to
So
make that
moved.
motion?
Second.
A motion to continue this item to the September 8th city council meeting. I have a second. Any discussion? Can this just be a voice vote as well? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, no? That motion carries. Okay, that is 7, 8, and 9. We are on item 10. This is a public hearing of the CDBG Annual Action Plan. That is a Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan. City clerk has some items to read for the record.
Mayor, the city has one exhibit to enter into the record, City Council Information Form dated July 28th, 2026, with the following attachments. Affidavit of publication of the Examiner on May 16th, 2026, 2026-2027 CDBG Annual Action Plan and Public Hearing Notice, Budget Overview, Summary of Public Comments, CDBG Advisory Committee for June 18th, 2026 Agenda, Annual Action Plan Draft, and August 3rd, 2026 Affidavit of Publication in the Examiner on July 4th, 2026, and Resolution with 2026-2027 CDBG Draft Annual Action Plan attached as Exhibit A. This is all we have to enter for the record.
All right, staff, if you will raise your right hand, do you swear the testimony about to give in this case be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Give us your name and address for the record.
Chantel Fry, 903 West Main Street, Blue Springs, Missouri, 64015. Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. Before you this evening is the final draft of the city's 2026-2027 Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan. This plan identifies the programs and activities proposed for the funding for the next program year that begins October 1 of 2026 and ends September 30th of 2027. This year, the city was allocated from HUD a total of $280,751. In addition, we have $77,687.85 that is to be reprogrammed funds from the previous program year. We had some money left over from this program year. And then we also have $35,885 in program income that will need to be expended first in the 2026-2027 year of the program year. So the proposed funding recommendations were developed with the input of the CDBG Advisory Committee, community organizations, residents, and city staff. And the proposed activities are the following. We are proposing the $50,000 for the minor home repair, which will provide up to 10 qualifying households for grants up to $5,000 each for eligible repairs. We have $115,000 allocated for the downtown revitalization activities. We left that pretty broad, so that way if we want to do the building facade for the Main Street metal facade or other projects that are qualified, we left it broad to be able to do that. $19,000 for Hope House to continue providing counseling services to victims of domestic violence who are residents within the city of Blue Springs. $30,000 for Community Service League to provide housing and utility assistance to low-income households and to help prevent eviction and homelessness for residents that are within the city of Blue Springs. $125,000 for the downtown Central Park improvement project that will enhance users' experience and strengthen the role of this park to be a central gathering place. Again, we left this one pretty broad so that way parks can use some flexibility. Some flexibility with projects, whether it would be towards the gathering space or something else that is needed for Central Park. So we left it pretty broad so that way they can do what they please with that. And then we also allocate the same as we have in previous years, which is the $4,000 for program administration and planning. Those are for the fees of public notices, lien releases, liens, and things of that nature. The CDBG Advisory Committee held public hearings on both June 18th and July 1 of 2026, and at its July 1 meeting, the committee recommended the approval of the proposed projects. The draft of the annual action plan was published for a 30-day public comment period from July 2nd through August 2nd of 2026, and at this time, there's been no public comments received during that period. Following City Council approval this evening, the final annual action plan must be submitted to HUD by August 15th for review and final approval, and staff recommends approval of the 2026-2027 CDBG annual action plan, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for staff from the council?
Your Honor, could I make a comment?
Councilmember Erickson.
This is not a question, it's a comment. I've been on the CDBG committee before, and I've said this at the meeting, but I really want to compliment you especially, and our chairman who's here, Mr. Harrell, for the way this was done. Maybe I just kept my mouth shut, I don't know, but it was very, very, very professionally done, and I really appreciate that, adding to the other people that were on that committee.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Councilmember Kaler.
Thank you. I will ditto what he said, but I gotta add my own negative vote to it.
Hi, Jerry.
As previous years, I have had issues with the CSL. Not as their program, I think it's a good program. I just don't like Blue Springs being dictated out of another city of where Blue Springs money's going. That's what I don't like about the CSL, because I think the CSL program does fantastic things. That's the only, and again, this year I'm the same way. I have my issues with Independence, well, I named it, I wasn't gonna name it, dictating how Blue Springs distributes money.
I will say though, to assure you that we do require them to turn in quarterly reports that they are spending the money here within our city limits, within our city residents. So,
And I understand that. But again, thank you for all the hard work that you put together on that, because this is not a easy job to put together, and it's very hard doing that, and very well appreciative of the staff that helped out with that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for staff from the council? Okay, since we are the applicant, then there's no other applicant. We'll go just straight to the audience. Anyone in the audience that's like to speak in support of? Anyone speak in opposition to? Any other comments before I close the public hearing? I will close the public hearing. This is just a resolution, so I need an introduction of the resolution.
I'll introduce the resolution.
Okay, I got an introduction.
Waiting for it.
Do you need to read the? Okay, then I just need I guess I just need a motion to approve the resolution. I don't even need an introduction, but I need a motion to approve the resolution.
I motion to approve the resolution.
And then I need a second.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Now there's discussion. Councilmember Kaler.
So you didn't need.
I was wrong. I did not need an introduction. So I got an extra bonus.
That's the reason I told.
I just needed a motion.
That it was her turn.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, I want to make this, Councilmember Kaler, I knew and know your concerns about CSL. I asked that personally at these meetings, and I feel very, very comfortable with the discussion that this stays in Blue Springs. And I might be wrong, but I don't think so. I trusted what they said and the reports that are required. So I think we can put that, hopefully we can put that to rest for next year.
It's still the process.
I know, I get it.
All right, any other discussion? I think he was already mentioned, but we'll give our kudos again to our chairman. Ken Harrell is in the audience there. So. All right, this is just a voice vote only. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Okay, now we are in the visitor section. I have a speaker appearance form that was from a couple weeks ago, but it is dated for this council meeting from a Levi Woodbury. Is Levi Woodbury in the audience? Okay, just wanted to be sure. So I have no other speaker appearance forms, and we will go to council member comments. Any council members have anything to add this evening?
Your Honor,
Yeah, Councilmember Kaler.
I would like to make a comment. Even though it's been tough, it's been a headache, it's been a pain in the tail, I really appreciate the patience with people, our residents, with our new streets being putting into place. And it definitely makes our community a whole lot better having these new, I know it's a little issue, but I just want to say thank you and kudos to everybody, that staff, Dennis, and everybody putting it together. Thank you for, because you got to deal with weather, and one day of bad weather really dominoes affects the whole thing. And kudos to you guys for taking care of that. Appreciate it.
Yes, we have had a need for some patience getting around town, but this is what 100 miles in 1 year looks like. So Adams Dairy Parkway is done. I think Artie Mize was done today.
Seven
Part
to-
of Artie Mize was done
7 to
today.
ADP. Tomorrow, it will be from 7 to 15th Street. in the
West
morning.
side. And they all look beautiful. So yes, continue with your patience. We still have 19th Street to do, Woods Chapel to do. South Outer Road starts soon, but they're getting done as promised, and we're excited about what they look like. So
Thank you, sir.
good comments, council member. Any other council members want to add comments this evening? Okay. Well, I will add a couple. Speaking of Hope House, since they were part of the Community Development Block Grant funds, several council members did attend their gala this weekend and got to see the support that money does for the community and for those victims of domestic violence. Great event, and learned a lot. There's apparently a new movie coming out that they had somebody whose story was based on this movie was based on was there, and so that was pretty interesting. So excited to see that money be put to good use. Tomorrow is Election Day. That would be something worth mentioning. There's several county and state and amendments, constitutional amendments on the ballot. So polls are open from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. So please, this will be your encouragement to get out and vote. That will be a big day tomorrow. Upcoming events, we have August 7th is Movie in the Park at Rotary Park. I'm trying not to take personal offense at the movie chosen by Justin back there, because I have seen the movie and I know who the bad guy is, so I'm just going to try not to be offended by the selection of that movie by our Parks Director. But please come out and see Movie in the Park Rotary on August 7th, and then Rotary on August 9th is Music in the Park, and so come out and do that as well.
Excuse me, sir. May I ask what movie is playing at Movie in the Park,
It
please?
is the movie Hoppers. Hoppers is the selection. It was the movie, and so
never seen it.
I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm
Well, I
being
think you
careful
already
not
did,
to
sir.
say any spoilers. But I'm just saying I'm trying to be offended by the selection of that movie.
We're gonna put the trailer up real quick.
I don't have any other comments with that. The city clerk is going to read a motion that somebody can so move.
Mayor, a motion is in order for council to go into closed session pursuant to section 610.021, subparagraphs 3 and 13, revised statutes of Missouri, for the purpose of privileged communications between a governmental body or its representative and legal counsel, including personnel, and that any minutes, documents, and other records discussed or taken during the closed session remain closed, and that this body stand adjourned at the completion of such session.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Councilmember Brummel.
Aye.
Erickson.
Aye.
Markworth.
Aye.
Rowan.
Aye.
Kaler.
Aye.
Tholen.
Aye.
Mayor Levisay.
Aye.
Motion carries.
We will head to executive session.